News every 15 minutes, weather every 10, and sports twice an hour.
Newstalk, KGVO, AM 1290 and 101.5 FM.
You're listening to Montana Morning with Peter Christian.
Missoula's mayor is ailing out for an undisclosed illness. Good morning, everyone. It's Montana Morning. It's Thursday, November 3rd, 2016. Sky mostly clear right now. It's chilly. It's 30 degrees in Missoula, on our way to a high of just about 52 degrees. Our newscast this morning sponsored by Bill Darling with Primary Residential Mortgage, offering decades of experience, financial advice, and sound judgment. Call 542-1972. A city spokeswoman says Missoula Mayor John Engen will be out of the office for several weeks because of undisclosed medical reasons. The Missoulian reports spokeswoman Ginny Miriam said yesterday Engen hasn't been in the office for over a week. City Council President Marilyn Marler stepped in during his absence and will serve as acting mayor until his return. Miriam would not confirm what medical reasons prompted Engen's leave of absence or how long he'll be out. She says her office didn't immediately notify the public that Engen was leaving because the city figured Marler would have mentioned it in the city council, but the council did not hold a meeting this week. Engen had bariatric weight loss surgery a little over a year ago. Our thoughts and prayers go out to Your Honor, John Engen. Missoula police investigating what appears to be an assault reported early Wednesday morning. Public Information Officer Travis Welsh said the call came in just after 8 a.m. from just off the UM campus.
About 8:19 a.m., a call came into 911 from a resident on Pioneer Court within the University Villages, stating that a young woman had come to their door, reporting that she had been the victim of an assault.
Welsh said the young woman was treated at a hospital before meeting with detectives.
She suffered minor injuries, was taken to the hospital for evaluation, and at this point she is speaking with detectives to find out, or so we can find out anything that she can tell us that might point us in the right direction as far as who might be responsible and where it occurred.
Welsh said the young woman appeared to be of high school age, and it's not currently known if she was sexually assaulted. He said the investigation is ongoing. Just before 10 o'clock yesterday morning, the city fire department responded to a gas line hit and rupture that occurred at the intersection of 34th and Bellcrest Drive. Assistant Fire Chief Jeff Brandt said the call sent 2 engines, 6 firefighters, and an EMS coordinator to the scene.
We had a contractor doing some utility work in the area and hit a 2-inch gas line. That obviously took gas away from that area. We had to coordinate off the area.
Brandt said since the gas line ran underground, it presented a complicated problem for the fire department.
That gas tends to follow sewer lines, gas lines underground, and because that was broken underneath pavement where the people were excavating, we had quite a bit of work on our hands until Northwest Energy got there to be able to cramp that 2-inch line and mitigate that issue.
Brandt said several homes were evacuated and streets in the area were closed for several hours. The gas line was repaired. The streets were reopened at about 1:30 p.m., and Brandt said no one was injured in that incident. Montana's Public Defender's Office says it'll hire 62 attorneys instead of assigning cases to outside counsel. The Billings Gazette reports the move is expected to save the office $2.2 million in fiscal year 2017. The new attorneys will handle certain cases that were previously assigned to local attorneys because of conflicts of interest or high caseloads. Doug Day, interim director of the Billings office, said the public defender typically paid contracted attorneys about $62 per hour. The new attorneys will be paid part-time between $37 and $48 an hour. Some contract attorneys worry they may not be able to support their practices without the public defender's cases. However, Public Defender Commission member Mark Parker said the move is the best way to reduce costs while upholding the office's mission. Missoula police responded to a disturbance call Tuesday night where a man was accused of using a tool to attack a family member. Here's Public Information Officer Travis Welsh once again.
Upon arrival, they made contact with a male outside and male and female inside. The male and female inside the house were cousins, and it was determined that the male in the house had recently been arguing with his wife, who had left the scene prior to officers' arrival. After she had left, he began arguing with his cousin.
According to Welsh, the argument between family members became violent when the man used a specific tool as a weapon.
During the course of that argument, was poking at her with a small pick-type tool that sounds like an awl, that caused a minor injury to her thigh above the knee. The male is described as 37-year-old Timothy Red Door, and he was taken into custody without incident.
Red Door is being charged with disorderly conduct and felony assault with a weapon. U.S. officials say a program to return land on American Indian reservations to tribal control likely will run out of money before millions of eligible acres are addressed. The Obama administration spending almost $1.6 billion on a tribal land buyback program initiated under a 2009 legal settlement. Officials used the money to purchase parcels of land with multiple owners and transfer them to tribal governments. A new Interior Department report said more than 4 million eligible acres will remain when the settlement money runs out in 2022. Montana Fish, Wildlife, and Parks looking for information about 2 poaching cases that occurred over the weekend. 2 animal carcasses were found, one a white-tailed deer on the side of the road in Stevensville and a moose in the Crane Mountain area, both with meat left to go to waste. Public Information Officer Vivica Krauser has more.
A couple of relatively nearby poaching cases that we've had recently are one on a deer that was found, the white-tailed deer carcass that was dumped and left to waste, and it was discovered the head was removed, but the 2 front quarters of meat were left to waste. And then additionally, someone killed a moose and took the 2 hindquarters and the head, but abandoned the rest.
Krauser says all hunters are expected to abide by the same rules and can avoid receiving poaching violations several different ways.
Take anything that is meat that could be used as food. If you're going to gut an animal out in the field, you can leave the entrails out there, but everything else needs to go with you. And if you run into a check station, you need to have evidence, and in some cases evidence of sex attached and all of that.
According to Krauser, anyone with information may be eligible for a monetary reward. Should contact 1-800-TIP-MONT if you see any poaching activity. Our news talk time now is 6:12.
Newstalk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station.
Low clouds and patchy fog possible today. Otherwise, mostly sunny with our highs in the upper 40s and low 50s. Patchy areas of fog tonight and cold with our lows dropping into the mid-20s. I'm meteorologist Brooke Foster for Missoula's KECI 13.